Good evening, friends. We are live, Grovil Talk Show. Very happy to bring back Rahul Roy, the iconic person from NCR region. I met Rahul Da for the first time when I stumbled across his post on Team BHP. He used to be the first person who used the Force Gurkha for all kinds of extreme off-roading. Then I went to Delhi and met him, and since that time I have been a very ardent follower of his travels. He has stopped writing on Team BHP now, but I think he should restart, and I'm going to call him now and see if he is available to join us in this live stream, or if he is not, we will continue it in this asynchronous fashion. हाँ राहुल दा, गुड इवनिंग, क्या कर रहे हो?
कुछ नहीं, बैठा हूँ अब शादी की तैयारी कर रहा था।
We are live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube. एंड आप अभी स्टूडियो में ज्वाइन करते हो तो मैं ये कॉल डिस्कनेक्ट कर देता हूँ और आपको स्टूडियो में ले लेता हूँ,
I guess I have joined the studio.
है ना? तो मैं यहाँ ये कॉल डिस्कनेक्ट कर देता हूँ और वो स्टूडियो में आपको ऐड कर देता हूँ. ओके, सी यू इन द स्टूडियो. Good evening, Dada. How are you doing?
गुड इवनिंग दादा. गुड गुड गुड. कैसे हो आप?
मैं एकदम बढ़िया हूँ और आई वाज रिलैक्सिंग एट द एंड ऑफ द डे एंड आई वाज वेटिंग टू लिसन टू योर एक्सपीरियंस. कैसा रहा? आप एकदम सडनली एकदम दिल्ली से निकल पड़ते हो एंड यू आर कमिंग वाया नागपुर. कभी कभी रुकते हो, कभी मुलाकात होती है, एंड अभी तो आई मीन यू हैव हैड अ ग्रेट राइडिंग डे. 870 किलोमीटर्स. आई वाज क्लोजली फॉलोइंग यू. मैं बीच में जब सोया था तो आपको फॉलो नहीं किया, बट अदरवाइज आई वाज क्लोजली फॉलोइंग यू. अब सुबह 8 बजे निकले एंड वी वुड लाइक टू हियर कैसा था आपका एक्सपीरियंस एंड हाउ आर यू डूइंग. पहले वो बताइए, कैसे हो, क्या चल रहा है?
Actually, two things. One thing was like I'm riding a Triumph 120, so there is a bit of say wind resistance in that because there is no windshield. तो थोड़ा सा tiring रहा comparatively. And Delhi till almost Jhansi, it was like kind of starting में थोड़ा सा fog था. Even though I started at 8:30, my plan was to start at 5 in the morning. कभी लगता है कि I made a mistake, कभी it is like चलो it's fine.
तो आपको 8 बजे
But
स्टार्ट करके भी फॉग मिला? सुबह सुबह फॉग मिला आपको 8 बजे स्टार्ट करके भी?
हाँ, like on Yamuna Expressway there was fog. I
ओके,
started
दिस
at
इज इंटरेस्टिंग.
8:30. Not even like yeah. Mm, I started at around 8:30, not at 8.
ओके.
8. So there was fog. Uh, but yes, like overall, after Jhansi, the ride was good. Like between, you know, from Agra going towards Jhansi, there was like I had to do almost a kilometer of off-road. And when I'm
ओके.
saying off-road, I mean Jeep level off-road. There were inclines, declines, there were ruts, there were like deep trenches. So, and I was new to Triumph 120. I had not driven it much, maybe in total, in last 4 5 years, maybe a total of 40 50 kilometers. So I was not accustomed to the bike, but once I got accustomed to it, oh, Jhansi to this place was total breeze. It was like I
तो वी
did
वांटेड टू नो फ्रॉम यू,
trek.
इस तरह के लॉन्ग राइड्स जब हम प्लान करते हैं तो व्हाट इज द काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स एंड प्रिपरेशंस दैट you usually do so that like we can also follow. Lot of people are thinking about taking their scooties on the highways. I'm hearing after our scooty all India rider started. So I'm taking a lot of tips from you, inspiration from you, and 1 year I'm going to devote to my studies now, and after that again from next year the ride will continue. So thank you for bringing all the positive energy into our lives by your
Okay,
traveling.
Dada, just today I was asked this question, but on a lighter note, Dada, tell me if you have to do. You are a doctor, right?
Yes, yes.
So, which books you study? Engineering, finance, accounting, or medical?
Of course, medical books.
Me- Exactly. So, like, people ask me, should we do running? Should we do exercise? How we should? Arey Baba, start riding. If you want to learn swimming, you do swimming. You practice swimming. If you want to run, you practice running. So, if you want to do long rides, you start running, or you start like riding bikes. You don't start running, right?
Yes,
Because there are so many things. There are instincts which come in, your view angle which comes in, your sensory perceptions on the speed comes in, you know. So you, and then these things become muscle memory. Braking, for example. If you would have learnt on a geared scooter, remember like when we first starting learning, we would look at the gears. Instead, we should be looking at the road. So people should start riding. That is what going to tell them how you should prepare. Personally, what I do, like if you ask me like what I do on my rides, I eat light. I try and avoid alcohol at least 24 hours prior to riding. Then even on the way, like you asked me like what lunch I had like parleji and tea. I don't eat the pranthas and all those stuff on the route. And then you just need to enjoy the ride. You need to be what many people do. There are two types, two things what many people do wrong. Abhik, one is, you know, cities come in the highways, right? So when the city is coming in the highway, people still continue their highway speed. They do not turn back to the city skills. So that is one thing you need to remember whenever a city is coming, get onto the city mode. You know, don't try and keep up the same pace what you were keeping up on the highway. Okay, that is one. Second thing, enjoy the ride. Don't get like people get into a trance when riding. If you, especially if you're riding at the same speed through and through, once you get into the trance, then it becomes issue because you lose the connect to the road and the surroundings. You should be always be aware of your surroundings, and you should have a wide, view angle. like if somebody is coming through the crossings and all that. And do not, this is a very big do not go against the nature, in the sense, you feel tired, stop, like I did. Like I was not
Okay.
tired as such, but you see, I was driving and I told you, Baba, the people are coming from all the sides and I'm not going to be able to maintain my speed. Had I started, like, had it been daytime, I would have reached you like way back.
Right.
So you need to stop. Do not bring your ego into the system.
Great. So,
That's a big point I
like
guess.
the
Do
first,
not bring your ego into the system.
the great point, Dada, and lovely hearing all the experiences that you're sharing. The first 250 kilometers, we saw that you were riding very steadily, and you could cover it in the first 5 hours itself. So I guess that was the Noida to Agra stretch, and you must have had superb experience of riding the Triumph on the wide expressway roads there. So how was the performance of your bike? Tell us a little more about the bike you are riding and the kind of bikes that long distance riders should consider buying or upgrading to uh, for upcoming long distance rides in India in future.
Okay, there are two, three parts in this question. Let me first start by the very first question, like, how was my ride? Okay, that ride I was taking deliberately slow because this was Triumph Bonneville T120 1200 cc, and it can go up to 195 per hour. But since this bike was totally new to me, I was, you need to judge the braking, you need to judge everything. Uh, you need to judge the acceleration. So actually, I was not taking the bike to its full capabilities, and also, uh, you see, like, as I said, there was fog. So Agra till Gwalior, I guess my average speed would have been 50 kilometers or so. After which, like, I made up for my journey and whatever speed it was. Of course, it was within speed limits. Now, second part, when the people are trying to go for long drives, see, there is one thing what they have to be very clear. They need to be very clear about, like, when they say long drive, what does a long drive means to them? You see, for example, I will just give you an example. Like, say, from Ahmedabad, if people have to go to Gandhinagar, say 10-year backs, which is 30 kilometers, they would plan a month ahead or a week ahead. Ki, okay, we have to go to Gandhinagar. Whereas, like, people in Delhi, if they have to go to, or Greater Noida, they have to go to Gurgaon, they don't plan it, which is like 70 kilometers. So, you need to define what do you mean by long rides. If you mean like going up on highways, there would be crosswinds, there would be a wind blast coming in front from you. So, if you are going to do, say, 200, 300 kilometer plus rides, you need to be sure, like, wind blast is not there, because that tires you a lot. Your riding gear should be proper. When I say riding gears, for example, depending upon the kind of bike you are riding, your helmet should be according to that. Similarly, your riding jacket should be according to that. because the wind blast or how the helmet is aerodynamic, depending upon the kind of bike you are driving, how it cuts the air through. Like if it is a round helmet and you are riding a kind of sports bike, it would cut the air and it would drop all the air to your shoulders. So your shoulder would start paining if there is no, kind of windbreaker behind your helmet. So all these things would differ. I would prefer a bike which is like where you sit straight and there is a kind of nice windscreen in front of you, which is a proper wind shield, which like saves you from the wind blast and as well as the buffeting. So, and you can cruise like at good speeds. That would be my preference.
So I guess we are seeing a lot of creators in India creating interesting design for two-wheelers, three-wheelers, trikes, electric vehicles, and everything coming up. So probably somebody listening to this show may take inspiration from what Rahul just said and design such a bike which is made in India, affordable and eco-friendly and fast and safe and with six airbags and all that. Anyway, so Dada, we were also wanted to. I also wanted to know आपके बाइक का परफॉर्मेंस
Hmm.
मतलब 1200 सीसी का बाइक है आपका मतलब मारुति 800 भी 1200 सीसी की नहीं होती है so like you're sitting on
Hmm.
that heavy engine and riding I mean you must be having amazing experience मतलब जैसे आप बता रहे थे कि your bike can go up to 195 kilometers per hour and but you were limiting today to maximum 70-80 kilometers तो मतलब आप इंजन का अभी तो आपने पोटेंशियली नहीं देखा है आई गेस टुमारो मॉर्निंग यू आर गोइंग टू फाइंड आउट द रियल एक्सपीरियंस अगर आपको खाली रास्ते मिलते हैं तो
No, see, one thing what I'm telling you a week is like never break the traffic rules. Always be within the speed limits what has been prescribed. This I tell to everybody. If you want to do speeds, you want to test the limits, there are tracks for them, you know. So that is one thing. Like, I had ZX14R. I had a Rocket 3, which was 2300 cc. Always test these bikes on the racetrack, never test them on the road. Because on the road, as somebody told me, when you are driving, it's not what you have to look for yourself. It is like you have to look for the people around you. Okay, let me tell you a very nice example today itself. I was riding from Jhansi to this thing, and suddenly one insect came and just, the bug spat against my helmet shield. Suddenly, I was blind for some time. It just came in, patak. It scattered all over my, helmet's windshield. So you see, you can never be enough prepared for these things. Okay, but coming to the bike, these bikes are like beautifully designed. I can tell you, like from Jhansi to this place, I covered almost around 400 kilometers, and I was on constant good speed within the speed limits, of course, and never did once bike heated up or acted strange. The bike was very comfortable in doing whatever it was asked to do. In fact, I can tell you one thing like because of the off road section, these bikes are much more capable than us. Like, had my riding skills been much more higher, this bike could have done much more. So it's not the bike which is the limiting factor, it is us who are the limiting factor. So we need to continuously learn, ride, you know, and keep on learning the new things and the new techniques. Uh, for example, just today I was talking to one of the person and he said he gets tired while riding the bike. And immediately told him, you get tired because you are holding the bike too stiff with your hands. So if you are trying to mm, tackle 280 kgs, you can't do a long ride with it, right? Because you will just get tired of it. Say, if you are in a gym, you won't be able to do that. And second thing is like every moving thing, wherever you're sitting on a bike, the pistons are moving, your muscles would be moving. Your muscles are moving. They create lactic acid, I guess, so which gives fatigue, I guess. So you need to control your muscle movements by wearing a proper clothing, maybe gym clothing and all that, which I wear, like so that my muscles don't move that much. So
So
the
what
fatigue
exactly are
comes
you
in.
are you are you wearing during your rides? Let us start from that, and then let us hear about the kind of diet like that one could ideally have for these rides.
Okay, one thing what I do is I wear like uh, tight, skinny uh, things from my bottom and on top, which you get like I don't know what you call them, but when you exercise, you are wearing those. These are like slacks and tight, which hold your muscles so that they are. See, okay, there are people who
Yes, we
would
are
be
getting an
like John
idea.
Abraham, who are like very stiff. Their muscles don't move like that. I'm a 50-year-old guy. Okay, I
Right.
don't go to the gym. I have got a daddy figure. You see, I'm overweight by 15, 20 kgs. So, my
Teddy bear
muscles keep on.
personality.
Yes. So, my muscles keep on moving. So, if they keep on moving and you are sitting on a bike, they will keep on vibrating, right?
Right.
So, when muscles move that much, the thing which is going to happen is you are going to have a lactic, they produce lactic acid.
Yes.
Yes. So the muscles get fatigued, they get tired. So what you
Right.
do is you restrict the movement of the muscles, which are loose muscles basically. So if you are a fit person, you don't have to worry about it. But if you have got uh, a daddy figure, what they call, with a paunch and all that, you are not obese, but going towards it, slightly overweight, you would need to hold on to your muscles so that they don't, move around too much. That would help in reduction of the fatigue. Second thing, in these big heavy bikes, I'm not talking about the light bikes, but the big heavy bikes, uh, you should not be controlling the bikes with your hands. If you're going to stiffen your hands on them, so your wrist and your elbow, they are going to hurt you, even your shoulders. They are going to hurt you. So your shoulders should be relaxed, your elbows should be bent, they should be towards your, for me, I call it tummy. For people like who are fit, it is not for them. You drive the bike whatever way you like. But for people who are like my body type, they hand should be slightly tucked inside, and most of the things your thighs should be doing so that the fatigue comes less in your shoulders, elbows, and wrist. If
Great. So basically, lower body fitness has to be amazing for this.
lower body fitness is always amazing, you see, because people stand every day. You see, like if you would ask somebody to do dumbbells for 40 kgs, they would get tired in doing even five. But if they are using their legs, they would not get tired till they have done 10. Lower body always has more fitness than the upper body, as a rule. That's what I have seen, what I have experienced.
No, great thoughts,
Because
Dada, and lovely hearing your experience from the ride today. Uh, Tomorrow you are planning to reach Nagpur at what time? Is everybody wants to know that because some people are following my WhatsApp stories and they know that you're kind of riding in a God mode from Delhi. You have started today morning at 8 and you have reached Lakhnadon, which is almost 857 kilometers in a span of 12 hours of very steady and nice
okay,
controlled riding.
okay, I made a mistake today, Dada. Dada, I made a
Okay,
mistake
let,
today.
let's hear about that.
Uh, had I started at 5 in the morning, which was my original plan, you see, you need to, what I made mistake, like whenever you are starting from a crowded city, say you are starting from Nagpur, after 150 kilometers from Nagpur, the traffic would be less, right? So what I did, I started at 8:30 and it was crowded. So it took me time to move away from the city, right? And there my precious, very precious sunlight time was lost.
So you had
Local
to
area,
basically start early. You had to start early
you
for
need to
making better
start
riding.
early. You need to start early, especially the local area. Say, Dada, if I ask you, you would know the road conditions at least like 50 kilometer of radius of you, especially the
More than
major
that.
roads.
More than that.
Minimum,
200
I would say,
kilometers on an average.
200 kilometers, right? And so that road I could have, even if there would have been fog, I could have done it right. You know,
Yes.
say instead of 80, I would have been driving on 60. Then also by 8:30, I would have reached, say, if I would have started at 5, I would have reached Agra by 5:30 or so, 8:30 or so. So I would have got 3 more hours of sunlight, which means I would have reached Nagpur by like 6, 7.
Exactly. So if you would have started at 5 in the morning, you would have reached and we would have had this discussion in person over a
In
glass of beer.
person.
Yes.
Oh man, let's do it tomorrow, lunchtime.
I had my fridge stocked with beer, Dada.
Mm, let's do it tomorrow lunchtime because, in fact, I would be there in Nagpur by 12 in the afternoon. I don't know if you would be free by that time.
See, you come straight to my hospital. Okay. We have a lovely
Hmm.
campus and there is a great restaurant with some amazing facilities where you could freshen up and chill out. And we could chill out for 2, 3 hours there. And maybe you could, if you want, take a tour of the casualty where I work. And there's a lot of road
No,
traffic accidents that we are seeing on a regular basis. And you could see how we manage that and maybe spread awareness about road safety. Like actually, this is actually a road safety awareness talk that we are having here today.
okay. If you want to talk to me about road safety, Let me tell you, for road safety, there are two things which are of prime importance. One is your mental status. Second is your mental awareness. It's you and only you. See, most of the times, most of the riders I've had a word with, they are too much focused on the road, right? Everybody I talk to, they say, focus on the road, see what's ahead of you. People forget to talk about the peripheral vision, right? When I'm talking about peripheral vision, is that means almost 170 degrees of your vision. Like you should be knowing if somebody is crossing, especially in this area. Like if somebody is crossing from your left, somebody is crossing from your right, what is three vehicles ahead of you doing? Are they braking? Are they changing lanes? People just focus on the road, and that creates an issue. They are thinking they have given the indicator, that means it's their right to turn. No, it's not their right to turn. They need to check out what other people see. There is a something called road sense. People can see other people moving, but they are not able to acknowledge the acceleration at or the speed at which those people are coming towards you. And a very big problem in India is, especially if you are riding a two wheeler, they think they think you can't be doing more than 20 or 30 kilometer per hour, or you can stop as easy as like blinking an eye. No, stopping on two wheelers is very difficult. You should know that. You would have fishtail, you would be scared if the road is not proper. If there is a gravel and you are braking, man, God save you. These things other people do not understand. So, for your safety, you have to understand. So, at times, many accidents happen due to this reason, but anyway, which ways, whatever the issue is, it's an accident. That's why we call them accident. It can be your fault, it cannot be your fault. But yes, they say caution has to be there, have the peripheral vision, check out what three cars ahead are doing. Are they braking? Is there, brake light coming up? Are they changing lanes? So if they are changing lanes or if they are braking, so there would be a cascading effect onto the vehicles coming down, and that is going to affect you as well. So those things needs to be taken care of while you're riding. Getting my point?
Absolutely, absolutely, Dada. So tomorrow you're reaching Nagpur at what time? Like around 12 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yes, I would be there around 12. So just let me know.
So you come down straight to my hospital.
But what time you are getting free?
See, I will be working in the graveyard shift from 4 a.m. tonight till
Hmm.
8 in the evening tomorrow. So
Damn.
you can catch me anytime in between.
Okay, perfect. So as usual, I will share my live location with you,
Perfect.
so you would know. And just drop me your location
Right.
where I need to come.
Perfect. Perfect.
So,
Sounds good, Dada.
ठीक है, I will have my breakfast, lunch, whatever. Okay, uh, you asked me a question about the diet. which
Yes,
I forgot to answer.
right.
When we are, going on the long routes, like we get an urge to eat the parathas or the famous things. But when you are on bike, and if you are a aged person like me, like I'm 50 years old, so try and avoid the oily foods, the, if you're eating at a local joint, oily foods or the foods which they are preparing and you are not, personally, your inner self does not approve of the masalas or the quality of the products they would be using. Over here, this is the only place where I say a processed food would be a better than a fresh food. For example, you go to McDonald's or KFC, that would be better than having something from a roadside stall. So generally, like today, 8:30, I had my breakfast around 10:30 of a KFC, and after that, around 2 or 3 p.m., I had like, you know, a small packet of Parle-G and tea, and that becomes my standard diet throughout whenever I'm riding. It is either bread and butter. When I say butter, it has to be Amul or something branded. I don't trust on the local butter or anything, because like if something happens to your stomach on bikes, it's actually not very easy to take off the riding gear, go somewhere, and you are always worried about the protection of your bike and your stuff which is there in the panniers or anything. You know, so you need to be very, very careful what you are eating. So I say, for me, it is always either the standard food or Parle-G biscuits or glucose biscuits and tea. That's what my usual diet is. I would never eat parathas on my trip, even though I love
Fantastic.
to eat. You know that.
Yes, yes, yes. I was wondering how you can avoid all the wonderful delicacies the Indian highways have to offer. Well, my formula funda is a little different. I am slightly younger than you. I am at 42, and my funda is testing everything that comes my way, and taking parcel along, and finding people to feed them at my next stop. So I always enjoy my food on the highway. Yeah,
Oh,
great.
I
And you?
enjoy my food. Had I been on my car, I always eat the local things. But on the bike, I usually avoid because of the reasons. See, it's the practical things. I cannot leave my bike and go for a washroom or anything just like that. Even if I have to
Yes.
go, there is too much of riding gear on me. You see,
Right.
so like you always do pros and cons. So it's like, okay, I would rather reach my destination and eat to my fill, and rather than not reaching my destination. You know, that's my funda. I don't know if you agree with me or not, because you are a young person, so you can always, you know, be on
Great.
this thing. Hmm. Sorry.
बहुत सही दादा बहुत सही अभी अभी I think a lot of people will come across this talk in the next couple of years, and they will find a lot of parallels from our experience. I am riding at the age of 42 on a scooty and a Dio, trying to cover the Bada Chardham all over India. And you are at 48, right? You are at 48, right?
No, I'm nearing 50. Sorry.
Okay,
But
so you
thank
are
you,
at
thank
50.
you,
You
thank
you
you.
you are you are still young at 50 and taking off on your 1200 cc bike, which you have only used a couple of times, and going on a test ride to Hyderabad. Is that your destination for this ride? And what are you
Yeah,
going to do after
Hyderabad.
now? Okay, okay. So
Uh,
Nagpur to Hyderabad, क्या plans है दादा? Like after crossing Nagpur, what are your plans?
Hyderabad.
ये ताड़ोबा जा रहे हैं ना आप?
Hyderabad is just Tadoba. My friend is having a resort. Okay, one more thing. One more thing. Uh, you asked me a question about long rides. Okay, if gentlemen are hearing this, I did one ride to Mount Abu on my ZX 14R. Okay, and that ride told me one thing. I did almost around 1750 kilometers in 24 hours. I went to from Greater Noida to Mount Abu, had a cup of coffee, and rode back home. Okay.
That's
Now the
great. That's
problem,
great.
now problem with men is with this is with problem is with men, or maybe I might have made some mistake. We don't get seamless underwears. Okay,
Seamless underwear. How is that supposed to affect the ride?
exactly. I'm coming to that. So when your underwears are having a seam, you know how much does you smoke? You used to smoke, if I remember. How much does the cigarette weighs? And the other,
What is the question? I did not get it. Dada, sorry.
you used to smoke.
Yes.
How much does a cigarette weighs?
The weight of a cigarette you're asking.
Yes,
That must be like about 10 to 20 grams, probably.
10 to 20 grams. If I ask you to hold the cigarette and put your hand straight for 10 minutes, you can do that?
Probably yes. I
Yes.
don't know.
Yes. Now, if I ask you to do that for like 2 hours, the cigarette would start to seem bit heavy.
Right?
Now, if I ask you to do that for 8 hours, you can't do that. You can't do that
Right.
even with an empty hand. Your hands would
Right.
start to die. So, with the seams, what happens is when you are doing long rides, like 1700 kilometers was over 24 hours. So, you are sitting on those seams, they start to cut
Okay.
in you.
Okay.
They start to cut in you. Okay? Because, say, even if there is a small pebble, just think about it. A very small. You see, there is a pimple on your face, you start like scratching it. There is a small pebble underneath you. It will start to hurt you. Like maybe for first 2 hours, 10 hours, it won't. But after that, it will start hurting you. Right?
Hmm. Yes.
So, if you're going on a long ride, say 5 hours plus, I
Hmm.
would ask all the people if you cannot find or afford a seamless underwear, get those, slacks or something which are seamless for exercises. You can get them in Nike, you can get them in Decathlon. Wear that. Get a cycling shorts. Don't wear
Hmm.
underwear
That's a great
because
advice,
those.
actually.
No, I'm telling it to you from my personal experience. That day we knew we had to stop our rides because of this, because it was hurting so much. We had to adjust it in fact, once like we even changed it, but that didn't help because there
Hmm.
is a continuous pressure over there, and those
Hmm.
scenes they start hurting you.
Hmm. Yes.
So if you are doing long rides, be careful about what you are wearing.
Okay.
So that would be another one of my. This is from my personal experience. I didn't get it from somewhere, but this I'm telling you from, like, for certain people I could be totally wrong, but you know,
Yeah, like for
this is
me,
from.
like for instance, like for me, I'm wearing regular clothes that I wear to office or on a on a day-to-day basis for my All India scooty ride, and uh, I am having no problems with no fatigue and
See,
nothing at all.
the reason is you stop at places. Your stops are much more frequent. For me,
Yes,
throughout my this 800-kilometer plus ride, I have taken just one photograph.
great. That's really incredible, and hats off to you
I have just
for
taken
those
one
very long
photograph,
rides.
whereas like you create videos, you stop, you create a blog. So that
Yeah, I
gives
am a
you a
digital
time.
creator. I am a digital
Yeah.
creator after all.
So you are a content creator. So you take break, you move around. So I tell everybody, whoever is riding, is take a break after every 2 hours, right? So now I don't take that much of break. I don't, and on a scooty, your maximum speed is like limited. So you don't need to wear those heavy, uh, this thing, protection gear. Like I guess I would be wearing almost over 5-6 kg of clothes on me, which are like with protective gear through and through.
That is most important and essential for these rides. The proper kind of body armor, I believe, proper jackets and uske upar mein crash guards and all those things. Very important.
So exactly. So those things are like, proper riding shoes. Like if you would check me out, see, most of the people when they bike super bikes, I'm talking super bikes or whatever bike you are riding, keep the 10% of at least 10% of the bike's value as your riding gear.
Okay,
You know,
that's great. 10% of the space of your bike you want to keep for riding gears.
no, not the space, the value of your bike. Say, for example,
Okay,
if you are buying a super fast bike, a sports bike, which is like costing, say, 20 lakhs or so. So that means you should keep if you are buying a bike of 20 lakhs, you should have a budget of around 2 lakhs for your riding gear. If you are
oh,
not
that way.
doing that,
Great.
because
Thank you.
see, a 20 lakhs bike is capable of insane speeds, right? They would go 0 to 100 kilometer per hour in less than 3 seconds.
Right.
And in case, God forbids, in case there is an impact, it's the riding gears which will come to save you.
Great advice. Great advice. Spend
Nothing
20,
else.
10% of the amount you want to spend to acquire your bike on safety riding gears.
On
That's the
safety riding
message that
gears.
that's the message that we want to give at the end of our talk. Great. So we have
So
we will
basically,
so we will soon be having Rahul Roy crossing Nagpur, guys. That's tomorrow afternoon. I am expecting him to come and see me at the hospital. and maybe I will be able to spend time with him for lunch, or at least, if not that, I'll be able to offer my couch to him for some time to rest, and for him to observe our casualty work. So, Dada, इसको यहीं खत्म करते हैं आज. We are almost around
Done, done.
47, 50 minutes now, and it
Oh
was
my God.
lovely. Yeah, 50 minutes, 50 minutes हो गया. It will be nice to review this talk tomorrow, and or after you return back to Noida after your expedition. Great.
Perfect,
So,
perfect.
Rahul Roy, thank you, sir, very much for coming and sharing your experience on the Global Talk Show. And we would love to take your leave now. Good night, guys.
Good night. And send
Dada,
me your
Dada,
location for tomorrow.
yes, I will send you your location. Yeah, I will send you my location for tomorrow, and I will call you after some time if you are still up.
All right, perfect.
Okay. Good night, Dada. Bye.
Okay. Bye bye. Good night.